chef got the juice, keep the show on fire. Josh brings the news straight from the source with no desire. The judge, our wise advisor, keeps us in line. Fresh from the comic shop, showcase your design. Ask Joe the comic book ninja for insights to explore. The popcorn gets to know you from straight to the core. I guess out to think, cause we make some freaks. So much more to discover, this show's a hit. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. So let's start.
Well, here we are. Let's start the show. Episode 218. How you feeling about that, Joe?
I'm feeling great. I'm back. I wasn't here last week due to the Elite Comic Expo in New York City, but I am ready for this show. And I just would like to start off this show by acknowledging the existence of Heroes Reborn _ comics, aka John. I think it's really important that I just, really acknowledge that he is here. He is in the chat because I got a complaint last week that I always ignore him. So I am not ignoring you now, John. I am speaking directly to you. I am shouting your name across the mountaintops. And
obviously,
not only that, but I have one of my Fresh from the Comic Shop books.
Okay, great. But listen to me, please. Obviously, John has a favorite co-host on the show, and his name is not Joe. I'll leave it at that. As I said, episode 218, we're going to get right into it because we have a surprise for you just in a couple minutes. Hang tight, people. Lots of stuff going on the show. We're going to reveal the brackets for our March Madness Mayhem extravaganza for the Fresh from the Comic Shop book of 2024. I know it's confusing. It's 2025, but we like to save it for March Madness time so we can just ride the wave and all of the engagement is associated with that. But with that said, this is episode 218, and we're going to do something we have never done before, right? 217, we did Amazing Spider-Man number 217, where Hydro Man and Sandman went up against each other. It was, and then they finally went after Spider-Man. And in issue 218 of Amazing Spider-Man, we get this. Look at this. In Amazing Spider-Man 218 from 1981, Sandman and Hydro Man accidentally merged into the monstrous Mud Thing after falling into the harbor. The creature kidnaps Sadie Frickett, leading to a King Kong-like showdown as it climbs a building with her in hand. Spider-Man, with the help of the police, dehydrates the Mud Thing, causing it to crumble and saving Sadie. The issue, written by Denny O'Neil with art by John Romita Jr. and a cover, Joe, by Frank Miller, is a standout of this Bronze Age ASM. Joe, what are your thoughts on this issue right here?
My thoughts are that Frank Miller really accentuates Peter's butt cheeks very nicely in this show.
You know what? I wasn't drawn into that myself, but I do have to say, now that you say it, he does. He does a great job of that, too. I was actually cued in on the Mud Thing, but maybe now going forward, it will be his butt cheeks. So
yeah. No, Joe, this is a cool issue. I really like, just taking two characters and combining them, and it works perfectly. Hydro Man, Sandman, two characters there. One that's been around since the beginning of Spider-Man, and another that was introduced only 6 issues before this one, and them colliding and creating this new character. I think that's so cool.
Very cool. So that is our featured issue. That is our featured episode issue for 218. It's Amazing Spider-Man 218, and it follows Amazing Spider-Man 217. I don't think we're going to do that often, but it is very cool that happened. All right, you know what else is cool, Joe? Fresh from the Comic Shop. This thing has been going strong for 3 or 4 years. It's one of your favorite segments. Our audience members love it. We love it. We have so much fun with it, and we have great people that are associated with. As you all know, EGS and Spider Dude Comics, both associated with it up until the end of last year. Nothing bad happened. We just decided to kind of all go into different directions. They are still going to be playing with us here and there. And today is one of those days, as you know, because, Fresh from the Comic Shop Book of the Year, you get the big boy book or big girl book. And we got a special guest to show us what that is. Dave from Spider Dude Comics. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're hanging in there. What do you think about Spidey's butt cheeks?
I was laughing about that pretty hard. It reminds me of another, there's a Spider-Man #4 from Spider-Man and the McFarlane series, and it's like that's the other thing that everybody talks about his ass on that. So.
Yep.
Oh, really? I mean, these artists, that's why they're legendary, because they know the parts to accentuate. But we're not here for that. You're not here to talk about Spider-Man's butt. No. We are here to talk about the big book that's going to go to the winner of Fresh from the Comic Shop Book of the Year 2024. So with that said, we'd like for you to share that with us. What will it be, Dave?
How about this one?
Ooh, snap. Everybody, that is Wolverine number.
There you go. There you go.
Number 55. That's in hand. I do. You know what? I come prepared because we do have an image here. Hold on, everybody. Please hold.
Then I could get. Yeah, there you go.
Boom. Right there. That's Wolverine, number 55, and a 9.8 from EGS and Spider Dude Comics. This, Joe, you love this. I know you love the cover of this book.
Yeah, it's an homage to one of my favorite Golden Age comics, something that I very heavily collect, crime suspense stories, particularly issue number 22, which is, it's kind of hands down the most sought after of the EC horror comics from the early 1950s. It features a woman's severed head and a bloody axe on the cover. Obviously was a big trigger for the Comics Code Authority and the Senate investigation. And of course, Dr. Worthen's Seduction of the Innocent. And it has been homaged so many times. This is really probably the most popular homage cover of this book, considering, it has Spider-Man and Sabretooth, who have long been a very popular dynamic between these two characters, and then obviously being homaged in the most recent Deadpool movie with the decapitation of Sabretooth. This is just such a cool book, and definitely excited to have that as the giveaway for 2024.
Yeah,
Dave, we are truly grateful for you participating in Fresh from the Comic Shop in every which way you and EGS have. Tony from EGS, truly grateful for this book right here. It's incredible.
I thought
it was
great. Really cool. Yeah, I love this. The EC, wasn't it EC that did that book, Joe? The original?
Yeah, it was EC. Yeah, EC.
I love that cover. I just love the way that those covers look. I look for them all the time. Unfortunately, I always find the reprints.
They're not. I bet you Joe has a few in his one.
Just one.
All right. Well,
yeah, that book, even the low grade is
worth
worth
a couple
$2,000.
one yet, do you? The skeleton mind glass. I can't remember it. Well, you'll tell me.
Chamber of Chills 19.
Yeah.
I do not. That is very, very high on my list. Yeah, that might be my favorite cover ever. Yeah.
Oh wow.
They put them in safes all the time. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hardly ever see them displayed. You have to get special permission to see them. So I'm like, I don't have that kind of money.
Well, again, thank you so much, Dave, for being part of this. Again, we're gonna rattle off what the bracket looks like. Look at that beautiful book right there. We're gonna rattle off what the brackets are a little bit later in the show, and then you guys go straight to Vegas and put your bets in, because I guarantee you they're gonna be taking bets on that. We're the #1 show on YouTube, for God's sakes. Dave, thank you so much. We will be in touch. Everybody, please, link is down below for EGS and Spider Dude Comics. I'm telling you guys, both are class act operations right there. Dave has some incredible books. Check out his site. The link is at the Instagram link. I just decided to put the Instagram link, but and then Tony with the EGS. So everybody check it out. Dave, will be in touch. We'll talk soon. Thank you again.
Thank you.
See ya. All right. That was great. I'm very excited to be part of giving that book away. We'll get into what the brackets are looking like in a little bit. But first, Joe, we got to get, in the order of the show, it's the news.
It is. And
Josh delivers the news and rumors.
Josh, you deliver the news and rumors, and I cut Joe off every opportunity I get. Joe, please complete your sentence that you wanted to complete.
I was going to say, since we're doing the news, we got to bring our guy Josh in, but I didn't need to say that, because you know why? We've created these awesome little clips that intro every segment, and it's wonderful. And Josh is here now.
Josh, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. Still a little tired from my hour-and-a-half long nap I just took, but yeah.
An hour-and-a-half nap. Okay. Well, you better bring the news. You better bring the energy because we can't do it without you or your energy. Something like
I mean,
that.
you did do it plenty of years before I joined up with.
Hey, let's get
without
to
my
the first
energy,
news
so-
story. Why don't we do that? How about that, huh?
Yeah, so let's talk about this. I think Joe mentioned this a couple episodes ago, but the Toxic Avenger will be spilling into theaters on 8/29 this year. This was originally supposed to come out a few years ago, then it kind of got shelved. And then it looks like a company, production company, decided to take the swings at it, and we're gonna finally get it. The best part about this film, is that you're looking at this picture and you're thinking maybe this looks like a life-size person, 6 foot, 7 foot monster. I don't know how that's going to play out in the film, though, because the actor who's actually playing as a Toxic Avenger is going to be Peter Dinklage, who is a phenomenal actor who we know from X-Men. He played as a giant in Thor. He played in Game of Thrones. But as we all know, he is a smaller man of size, but his heart is 5 times as large as himself. And he's a great actor, and he's got a great supporting cast behind him.
Fantastic actor, but he was also an Elf, which was incredible too, by the way.
Well, he's got like I said, he's done a couple films in the last few years where he's just it doesn't matter his size. He's just a phenomenal actor. Great cast, supporting cast behind him as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this was released a little bit so far, and it was like a 92% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh wow!
So like this film, I think I'm not saying it's gonna be the best comic book film ever, but I think we're in for a nice little treat here.
It'll be fun. It'll call back to the 80s, the original films. And I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a cartoon too. So Toxic Avenger it wasn't Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles popular, but it was pretty popular. I remember being into it myself. So all you out there who are big Toxic Avenger fans, let us know what you think about this reboot with Peter Dinklage. Again, Peter Dinklage, phenomenal actor, just a great actor, Game of Thrones as well, as y'all know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this reboot after 30 some odd years. I don't know, Joe, you have any thoughts?
No, I mean, I know a lot of people that were really excited about it. Mostly people that kind of grew up in the late 80s, early 90s when a lot of this content was coming out. And people were really excited when it was announced, and then it was screened at I forget, some film festival or something. And then it just never came out, and it was kind of just sitting there in purgatory
really
for a
weird.
while. Yeah, very strange. But I'm glad it is getting a release, and I certainly will be seeing it this August.
Yeah, I'll be there too for sure. All right, let us know again if in the chat if you guys are going to be in the theaters to watch this. We have another news story here. Not quite MCU, but kind of, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I'm definitely interested in checking this out. So, Nicolas Cage has done a lot in the film industry, and he plays as Spider-Man Noel in the Into the Spider-Verse. Well, they're doing a live-action Amazon show, and currently, right now, this might be debuted twice, one in color, and they're talking about doing a black and white version only of the show as well, which I think would be great, because when you think about this comic, and as we can see right here with the great graphics on the screen, black and white to me would probably be best. But however, I don't know how it would fit since his suit's completely all black, unless they would be able to lighten that up a little bit. We'll have to see. But I think this is interesting news, and it's something that I'm really looking forward to. I'm not the biggest Spider-Man guy in the room, but hey, man, Nicolas Cage, I'm there for him. So yeah.
Joseph, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, we already got a little glimpse. We got the animated version of this character with Nicolas Cage voicing the character. Why not have him go into the the live action role as well? I really like Nicolas Cage. I know there's a lot of people that kind of. He's the punchline of a lot of jokes and stuff like that, because he has certainly done some movies that were real stinkers, and he certainly puts his all into some certain scenes and stuff like that, and it has made some very comical things. But I really, really enjoy most of the stuff that Nicolas Cage has done. Love this character, very cool. Love that they're doing it, as a black and white version, kind of catching that noir feel. If you remember, a couple of years ago, we had the Werewolf by Night special, which was black and white, and then throwing it back, like 2 decades at this point, Sin City, the Frank Miller,
Yeah.
black and white, and I think actually both of those were black, white, and like a little bit of red in there. So I would love to see this kind of in that same kind of vibe.
I'm excited about this as well. I agree with Nukes, like either color or black and white, but not both. Justice League in the aspect ratio and the black and white, it's just like, come on, man. But I'm excited for this. I'm definitely excited. The character is very cool. Nicolas Cage getting to play him in live action after playing him in, the animated films. So I'm all on board. You guys let us know if you're all on board as well. I'll see either or, black or white or color. But again, let's just kind of keep it to one release. By the way, like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Shame on you if you haven't done. We got 16 million people here tonight. For goodness sakes. Joshua, what's next on the Spider-Man tip here?
So yeah, we'll continue on with Spider-Man here. This might be the biggest news that dropped during this week, and that's that Sadie Sink has joined the cast of Spider-Man 4. She's very well known for Stranger Things, which final season is coming out later this year. She was just in The Whale last year, I believe, with Brandon Fraser. Did a phenomenal job in there too. So we have no idea who she's playing. It's just been announced that she is joining the main cast. And as far as we know right now, it's really just Tom, Zelda, and her that are in the cast that are confirmed to be returning. Now, you look at her and, I think I touched base on this a few episodes ago as well. Rumors are that she's being eyed for Jean Grey in the MCU. Now, right now, currently, like I said, nobody has any idea. That could still be the possibility, could be the play, but it would be interesting because it's like, well, why would Jean show up in Spider-Man's movie? Because they really, as far as I know, in the comics, don't have a history together. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think they ever had like an interaction, except for maybe, crossing paths. But rumors are going around right now that she could be playing a few other characters. One of the biggest ones right now is typically that she could be the new MJ. Now, we all know that the MJ we have is Michelle Jones, so it's not Mary Jane. So the rumor is that she could be playing a different variant of Mary Jane. And mind you guys, too, that Spider-Man 4 will be set in between Secret Wars and Doomsday. So it's going to be considered a Elseworlds kind of story. So we're going to be seeing some different things. So it's possible that we could get a different variation of MJ. I honestly don't want to see that. I think, even though it's Michelle Jones, I think Zelda does great as a character. Let her continue the role, play with it, whatever they want to do with it. Jean Grey is obviously my top choice for her. I've also heard possibly that she could be Gwen Stacy. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, whatever happens, it sounds like the cast is going to get rounded out and this movie's going to be good.
I mean, it's wishful thinking for me to put this cover right there. That's the reason I did it. I'd rather her play Jean Grey. Joe, I know you have thoughts.
Yeah. I also am the same boat. I would much rather her play Jean Grey and then, cast the X-Men young. I think that's the best way to do that and have them grow up. The original X-Men were supposed to be teenagers in the comic books and, in school at the time. Even Cyclops, Jean Grey, that was, the characters, and they were eventually, aged up with new mutants coming in, as well as, younger cast. Obviously she looks the part. She's got the red hair, yada yada. I think she's a great actor. She's one of my favorite parts of Stranger Things. I haven't seen The Whale, but I mean, that movie won a bunch of awards, so I can't imagine it being bad. One thing to note, we did talk about Jean Grey, and Spider-Man not having really, at least that I know of, and Josh said this, any like interaction as teenagers. But at the same time, Jean Grey is a New York native, New York State. Peter
Okay.
Parker, obviously having grown up in New York City, I think it's not impossible that they cross paths at some point. So certainly this could be a little bit of an intro to a new X-Men. The Mary Jane thing, obviously another character with red hair. I would really hate if they did that though, just because if they make Mary Jane white, it's going to be too woke, So I'm really against that idea.
No, it'll cause a lot of uproar. Let's be honest with you. I mean, it would.
It would. It would. No, it would, especially after just, people have bought into the MJ, Michelle Jones, Zendaya, situation, and people, for the most part, really like her in the role, really like the chemistry that is certainly there between her and Tom Holland, who are a real life couple. I believe still to this day.
Yeah, they're engaged, I think.
Engaged.
Yep.
I do believe. Yeah.
So I don't have a chance anymore, you're telling me.
I
Okay.
mean, there's always a chance. Let's be
A
honest.
little, yeah.
I mean, we're on the #1 YouTube show of all time. She knows who you are. Well, let's be honest.
She. Hold on, you said she. I'm talking about my chances with Tom Holland.
Oh, I mean, either way, right? You go after what you want, Joe, and it's gonna happen.
Okay. Anyway, I'm stoked that they have a very talented young actor coming into the movie. I'm excited to see when really good child actors transition to being, successful adult actors. We've seen it happen over and over again with, the real talent. And I'm curious to see who she's going to be playing.
Well, it will be a mystery for quite a while because this does not release until next summer. Is that correct, Joshua?
Yes, sir. I believe they're aiming for mid-July next year.
All right. Well, again, we won't know for quite a while. But what a film that will come out before that film, you're going to talk about this next, aren't you?
Yeah. So it looks like the Russo brothers. We all know they adopted 2 big storylines in the Avengers run, and in the way they did it, they used inspiration and they did their own thing, which I think makes sense, right? I don't want to see a page for page adaptation of Secret Wars. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to be surprised a little bit. Give me something you can always build on and make things better. And so Doomsday and Secret Wars will draw loose inspiration from the original 1980s and the 2010s run, while creating their own version of the story. That's what Joe Russo has recently just said this week during an interview when he was doing his new movie with his brother, which is great in my opinion, right? Because you can take the best of the 80s, the best of the 2010 story, put it together, but also, we're not going to be having all the same characters that the original one had. Exactly what happened in Infinity War. We didn't have everything played out, right? So I think, what these guys are putting in the oven right now, they're starting to put some butter on there, I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper and get ready to put in the oven and bake. I'm excited for this. And I can't wait to see, their vision and how this plays out on the field. And I just think Marvel will be back. Everybody says it every time a movie or show comes out. The MCU's back. The MCU is dead again. I'm just really excited for this and to hear that, they're going to respect the past, but also embrace the future and the present and stuff. So I think we're in for a real treat.
For sure. Joseph, your thoughts?
Josh made a really good point. As far as, you don't want something directly from the comic books that all the answers to. We want something that is based on the comic books, but different enough that we're getting new content. And if you think about it, they did that already. The Russo brothers did Civil War, which was a comic series. They completely changed up what Civil War meant, as far as who the Civil War was between, what was the cause, so on and so forth. But they kept the main idea of, it being Avengers versus Avengers, a faction of the team going against another faction of the team. No reason not to do that with Secret Wars. It seems like they're going to have, the same similar characters. We know Doom is coming. I assume that means Battle World is going to be a thing, and I have faith in these guys. They've done it over and over and over again. not just with MCU stuff, but with other projects as well. And really, we obviously really want this to do well, because there's been, a lot lacking as far as fan participation and, film excitement and stuff like that in the MCU for the past couple of years. And this is certainly a way to turn that around.
Yeah, for sure. Again, the two of them have proved that they can go after the gigantic blockbusters, the biggest of the biggest blockbusters. I think, Endgame made the most money out of any film ever. So on top of the fact of, balancing an ensemble cast, it's something I have full faith in them, but also attaching themselves or attaching the story that they are working with to the parts of the comic book. And that's what interests us and fans, those homages, those certain things here and there that really shout out to us. I'm telling you, what I would love to see visually are some of those something inspiring from Mike Zeck covers, right? From the first Secret Wars, those Mike Zeck covers, Doom on his knee, battered up and all that stuff. Issue 10, you got the Hulk holding, I don't know what the hell, I don't know what it is, but he's holding up that mountain. It's just incredible what Mike Zeck did back then. So I would love to see some of that for sure. Let us know in the thoughts or in the comments what you think, what you want to see, and how the Russos are going to do, building upon, Winter Soldier or Civil War, Endgame, etc., Infinity War, all of that stuff. So let us know what you think, how they're going to do. Please like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Moving on to the next story, which really kind of,
Yeah. So this story, it's really been a lot of uproar this week in the community about this, and a lot of debating. We've had a lot of documentaries in the last few years come out. We had a Dan Stevens one, which was excellent. Jack Kirby is about to get his own documentary. They're going to go in production for him. And a new one called Stan Lee, The Final Chapter, has also been announced. And this covers the last 4 years of Stan's life, leading up to his passing. And it's also going to show how he was exploited by former business partners for elderly abuse. People mistreated him. And the assumption is that after his wife passed away, who took care of him, took care of a lot of his financial and business stuff, Stan was pretty much left alone. His daughter, from what I could tell, is just not a good person. She has issues. And so this person, documentary guy, he's done quite a few documentaries in the years before this, but he followed Stan for the last 4 years of his life. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot going on with this. And some people consider this maybe also a little bit wrong due to the fact that, Stan's passing happened, what was it? How long has it been? 4 or 5 years?
6.
6. And apparently the statute of limitations to press charges on the people that we're going to see in this documentary, apparently they're not going to be able to go to court and do anything to these people because it's been so long. Now, a lot of people are talking about, hey, why did this guy wait so long to come out with this information, to try to come out with this? He's also asking for a Kickstarter of over $300,000. He's mentioned that he needs to hire actors, he needs to get crews, he needs to get sets, makeup. So I'm not sure if this is going to be a original documentary or if he's going to try to recreate some scenes with actors or what. But it's a very interesting story. And like I said, a lot of people are just feeling that the guy who also documented this is also a little bit at fault, knowing that he could have said something at any time in those 4 years that he was with Stan, and he didn't. He just decided to film what happened. And now he's asking for a ton of money when really he shot everything. A lot of it's supposed to be edited, and he probably could just put it out there. So we'll have more news updates on this as we go along, probably, but it's something that I think everybody's been talking about the last week.
Joseph.
Yeah, so I there's a lot that can be said about Stan Lee, but I think the most important facts are, he did an immense amount, very likely the most amount for comic books in the comic book industry. I don't think anyone really wants to argue that. incredibly positive for the community. And unfortunately, in the last couple of years of his life, he was certainly taken advantage of. Whether it was this person taking advantage of this person and it was this person's responsibility, that all can be, argued. And I'm not going to get into that because I don't know enough of the details, and very likely no one here knows enough of the details to be able to, point fingers, or anything like that. But what I think is most important is that the information is going to be out there. If it's something you'd like to know, you can go for, watching it, supporting it, whatever. If you don't want to see Stan Lee in this light and you would rather remember, the Stan Lee that we had for decades and decades before, upbeat and happy, I totally understand that as well. As for the Kickstarter and, the fact that someone is, going to potentially profit off of this, if someone, we don't know people's intention. We don't know why he did this. We don't necessarily know that he had, malice behind this, not malice, but, he was money driven or greed driven or whatever. We don't know why it took this many years for him to say something. It could have been a legal reason. I would avoid jumping to conclusions, but also at the same time, just kind of take it with a grain of salt. That this could just be further mistreatment of Stan Lee. If you are someone who wants to learn about Stan Lee in his life, there's plenty of documentaries out there. Some of them are, were certainly made before this unfortunate period of his life. And, I encourage you to go watch those. But I'm not going to fault anyone for wanting to watch this one and get some more information, especially this is, again, this is the godfather of comic books, and the person who has done more for comic books and put the industry where it is. Honestly, I don't think the comic book industry would be existent today. I think it would have died off with a lot of other paper publications and that like trash media. It just, I don't think it would be here. So if you want to learn more, go ahead and watch it. No one's going to fault you, or no one should fault you. And if you want to stay away from it, stay away from it. That's your prerogative.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to give a little bit of insight. Like, I've produced and directed my own documentary, was on Netflix. It's been globally, released. It costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to do.
Yeah.
And this guy asking for $300,000 to finish the documentary, it's not unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a cash grab. I can't say either way, right?
Sure.
Because I'm conflicted as well with what, Josh, you're just saying, and everybody's been saying this week about this footage could have came out earlier and maybe it could have helped his situation out. I don't know. We don't know. But, there's a lot of ways to tell this story, and I'm sure he's exploring the best way, in his opinion, of doing that. I'm going to wait till it comes out to make any sort of assumption or to make any sort of opinions on what this was and what his intentions were, because I think it'll be very clear. But the fact that people could have been held accountable for wrongdoings, that hurts, because this is a person that has meant something to everybody in this audience, in this industry. You cannot escape Stan Lee if you're a comic book fan, or if you love these characters, whether it be DC, Marvel, any indie publications, publishers. His influence reaches far, far, far from just comic books alone. So again, we shall see. I will hold back any sort of opinions. I am conflicted at this point, but I do want to see what the product will be.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I fall too. I'm not saying I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm not saying I'm definitely not going to watch it. I tend to really like informational stuff, documentaries and things like that. So I'm leaning towards wanting to watch it and wanting to learn and know. I think there's obviously historical significance to wanting to preserve this information and wanting to, have this information available in the future. And there's lessons to be learned from it, and from his mistreatment, not just, for a celebrity, but also
Yeah.
the average person in the last few years of their life certainly need often can be taken advantage of, need help doing things, and obviously that's something we want to avoid, no matter if it's a celebrity like Stan Lee or your grandma.
For
And I just
sure.
want to say too, from what I understand, like I said, if it comes out, the people that were wrong and did abuse Stan Lee, limitations of the law are apparently out now. It's been too long. But the good news would be that, okay, we can maybe find out who these people are. And you know how the internet is today. They find out what you did something wrong. You're probably going to end up not doing whatever you've been doing.
There
on the
will be
internet.
repercussions.
Yeah.
Civil
Yeah.
suits as well are
But
possibility.
it's just-
Dan has some thoughts as well. The
It's just
judge,
sad,
everybody. Please welcome the judge. Hello,
Hi,
Dan.
guys. Just a quick word here. Whatever happened to Stan in his personal life, that's his life, and whatever happens. We can say the same in our own lives. But the last year of his life, when I was able and had the honor of seeing Stan for the last time, I'd met him twice. You were rushed in. You had to get an autograph signed and all that. I leaned up to him and I said, "Mr. Lee, thank you for everything." And he had just come off of pneumonia. He didn't have to be at this con in San Jose, but he was there the entire weekend because he loved his fans, and he simply nodded. He didn't have the ability to speak. The best way I think that we can pay homage to Stan Lee is doing what I'm doing literally right now. I'm reading his Stan Lee stories. This is Thor 185, and the gorgeous, gorgeous artwork by John Buscema. The story itself, is very detailed. Stan was literally the best writer in comics and always will be. And even the coloring was I've taken some pictures. I can't really show them because they won't really show up here, but simply appreciate what he did. Again, there are thousands of stories that he wrote. I'd say that the best way to honor him is simply read those stories, because again, that's the best reading in comics.
Yep, absolutely. He will live on way past his expiration date. Let's put it that way past. So again, he's an icon and means something to all of us. All right, so there's no good pivot away from this, but we have one more story which falls into the rumors bucket of Josh's news and rumors. Josh would take it away.
Yeah, so not Spider-Man, man. Superman is 4 months out. And I'm hearing there's going to be some big surprise casting in the film that we're, not going to know about until we see the film. And of course, when you think of Superman, and you got to imagine that, every Superman movie or show we've had, Jor-El has always been a part of. And I'm hearing that, they have an actor in mind, and it's going to be a very big surprise. A couple of names have been Tom Cruise and Leo DiCaprio. But I've also heard another interesting rumor that who else could be playing one is Kurt Russell. I do kind of like that idea. He's a bit older, rugged, But there's also a potential rumor, and I think this is really false. Again, these are just rumors, so take them with a grain of salt. But what do you guys think of James Gunn being Jor-El? No?
Nope.
All right, let's toss that out there. Never mind. Let's pretend I didn't say that. But when you sit here and you think about this, like Tom Cruise has a contract with Warner Brothers now. He is specifically making films for them. He'll be, doing production and stuff. I'm going to be honest. Out of Tom Cruise and Leo DiCaprio, I would rather have Leo play him. I just think Tom is just like, I don't know, too good looking, too, over it. you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I thought Russell Crowe, honestly, was the perfect Jor-El and Man of Steel. That's just my opinion. But, we'll see what happens in the film when it comes out in a couple months.
Yeah, this is interesting. Because there always does seem there's a heavyweight with Jor-El. It was in the first film. It was Godfather.
Mario Brandel.
Wait,
what?
What? Marlon Brando. Yeah, Marlon Brando was huge.
Yeah.
Then you had Russell Crowe, and why not keep it going? You know what I mean? So I'm all for this, and I love kind of big cameos in this way too. So I'm excited for it. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously this will likely be a flashback scene. Obviously,
oh yeah.
Yeah, and it makes sense. So they can kind of do what they want with it. They could even like kind of be funny and have Henry Cavill play the role. 'Cause, think about it. He he's in his 40s now. I think it would be dumb. But no, I mean, either one of these two heavy hitters could have this cameo. Obviously, this movie comes out in just a couple months, so the scene has already definitely been shot.
Yeah.
If this is in fact a thing, so we'll just have to wait and find out.
Yeah, it's exciting nonetheless. I can't believe you just said this, Joe. We're 4 months away from this movie coming out, so that's very, very exciting.
Fantastic Four is also 4 months away, so.
Oh man, that is July is going to be a month for us. I'll tell you what. What's your name, Joshua? You've done a heck of a job. Everybody, please give it up for Joshua too for filling in for Joe last week. I gotta say, we like to make fun of each other quite a bit on this show, and we all take it in strides. But Joshua, man, you have been getting better and better each week, and we love having you on here. You're not going anywhere, though, because we're going to be talking Fresh from the Comic Shop 2024 Book of the Year coming up. But again, you did a fantastic job with the old I was not ready.
Just delivers the news and rumors.
Oh, that is a terrible look right there, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah, for sure. Listen, I hope John, aka Heroes Reborn, is still here because he came after your comments.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Where is it, John? Let us know if you're still here because he says I see you, Joe."
Yeah.
Now,
he
John,
missed the beginning.
We brought this up that I'm probably your favorite canon host, and co-CEO. You could say it here. Just get it out there right now because Joe has just dismissed you for the past how many years?
I have not.
Come on, say it. John, say it. Who is it? Who is your favorite right now? Putting you on the spot. Do it. He said it.
No, he said Joe. It's
he
Joe.
Totally said it was me.
No, Joe.
You need to clarify. John. Okay. But before we move on to our next little topic here, we're not going to do an Ask Joe tonight because we're going to diving deep into this bracket here. Deep. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Jeff is and always has been the man on comic book canon.
Oh my God.
I mean, I've been here longer than Joe, but Joe's my equal. So yeah, anyways, I don't know. Oh, Chris is your favorite?
That's fine.
It's not fair. All right, moving on. But before we get to our next segment here, we want to say hello to all you fine people like John, aka Heroes Reborn. Tishu is in the house as well, who he says Chris is his favorite. That's fair. Dan De La Torre, aka the Judge, will be back. We can promise you that. Dr. Guion in the house. Dr. Plagueis in the house. Kaboom Comics. Hello. Who else do we have? Who else? Scruffy, Immortal Scruffy is here in the house. Spud, hey kings and queens for that matter. Derek Neiman wants to kill off the multiverse, reboot with Scar leading the new Avengers team, and everybody has Scar haircuts. That'd be pretty cool. No, actually,
no. Please.
Mike Hags is in the house. Who else? What else? Oh, we got Nukes Comics in the house. He does have a question for Josh. Josh, you got tired from taking a nap? Please clarify. Thank you. I already said hello to Mike Hags. Josh's Comics is in the house. Y'all know that. Raising Elm is in the house. And I just want to point out, we started on time, everybody. Nikita Kare in the house. Do we have any clarification? Joe is my guy, though.
That's because I helped him buy a Hulk 1.
All right. Anyways, each and every week we do a wonderful segment that gives you a little bit of nugget knowledge from the comic book, the history of comic books. Basically, we put this together. It's very fun and it's kind of timely. We planned this, we scheduled this one, obviously having no idea about the Stan Lee documentary. But this is a did you know kind of involving Stan Lee. It's a fun one right here.
Did you know Marvel's creators once fought a supervillain in their own comic? Marvel's real-life creators have appeared in comics before, but Fantastic Four 176 took things to another level. It all started when the mischievous Impossible Man learned what comic books were. After tagging along with the Fantastic Four back to Earth, he wandered off and barged into Marvel's real-life offices in New York. Inside, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and the Marvel staff were already panicked about an upcoming Fantastic Four deadline. But things got even worse when Impossible Man demanded Marvel make a comic book about him. When Stan refused, reminding everyone that Impossible Man's first appearance was unpopular, the shape-shifting trickster went on a rampage. He transformed into various superheroes, tearing through the Marvel offices in an effort to prove he deserved his own book. Luckily for the Marvel team, the Fantastic Four tracked Impossible Man down. However, catching him was another story. The battle turned into pure chaos, with the Fantastic Four doing their best to contain the Impossible Man. Mr. Fantastic finally figured out a way to de-escalate the situation by convincing Stan Lee to give Impossible Man his own comic. That was all it took to calm him down. Of course, once the dust settled, Stan immediately went back on his word. So, what do you think? Would a story like this work in today's comics? Let us know in the comments. Either way, fun stories like this from the House of Ideas are sorely missed.
Did you know that, Joe?
Yeah. Well, I knew parts of the story. I didn't know the exact details behind everything, but the general overarching story there I was aware of.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you knew that as well, and tell us any stories that you want us to kind of research and do for Did You Know? We're happy to do that for you fine people. We won't charge you extra, will we, Joe?
I mean, maybe like
it depends what kind of a story we're talking about.
It depends if there's a tariff on it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, they got tariffs on stories now. So anyways, yes, this is a good point, actually, John. Impossible Man was Deadpool decades before Deadpool. I love that, actually. There's a lot of meta-ness going on regarding Impossible Man. Sure. This story was an example of that. So definitely a fun story for sure. We're not going to do an Ask Joe, but we're going to get another video package out of the way. We didn't have it for last week's show, but it's our pick of the week. And let us know if you guys are enjoying this, because it's a lot of fun to do. Every week we do new books. I lean more towards new books than picking up these older books like my colleagues here. However, I love all of it. But this one right here, again, if you're loving the Absolute universe, this is another one for you to check out as well. Absolute Flash.
It's the comic book canon. Pick of the week. Make no mistake. It's not for the meek. But let's get to this week. No Speed Force, no pass to chase. No Kid Flash, he sets the pace. While he's here, but he's all alone. One Scarlet Speedster on his own. Run fast, there's no rewind. New world, new Flash, new state of mind. Ford Fox lurks, the race is tight. Can Wally stand? Can he fight? Lemaire's got the story. Robles the art. A brand new Flash, a brand new start. No legacy, just one chance. One hero left to take the stance. If you love speed, if you want fresh, buckle up now. It's Absolute Flash.
Yep, that there is our pick of the week. Absolute Flash #1. I'm enjoying all of the Absolute line. I'm getting Martian Manhunter as well. Let us know in the comments what your plans are with Absolute. Again, next week we will have a pick of the week. Again, I forgot to mention, those are all original songs we're going to be doing with pick of the week. If you have a genre, hit us up on the socials. Let us know what genre you're on here, and we will produce a song just for that. Okay, Joseph, here we are right now. We're about to get into Fresh from the Comic Shop. Y'all know what Fresh from the Comic Shop is, but there's a lot of you on here that were winners last year for, you were a monthly winner for Fresh from the Comic Shop. 12 of you, right? I'm not sure if all 12 of you are here right now. However, the brackets have been made. We've already announced what the book will be. If you guys missed that, Dave from Spider Dude Comics and Tony from EGS, they are presenting us with this gorgeous, it's Wolverine 55, the EC Comics variant. Joe, again, what issue is this? I cannot remember.
Wolverine issue 55 is an homage to Crime Suspense Stories 22.
Yeah. So again, it is a beautiful book, 9.8. So we're very excited to be giving that away, but there's a lot that has to happen. And we're going to bring Josh in, and when the judge is ready, we'll bring him in as well, because the brackets have been made. And guys, think about this. When you're doing a semifinals and a finals for Fresh from the Comic Shop, the amount of votes you get is critical, because if you do win that month, it propels you into the seeding. And I got to say, we got some high votes for some of these seeds right here. So let's just start it off, right? The top, there's two brackets as it was last year. There's an A bracket and a B bracket. The two top seeds from each of those brackets have a bye, right? They don't have to battle the first round. And we're just going to give that, we're going to get into A bracket right now with the number one seed here overall is Mike Haggs from January. Mike, you have a bye, and I just want to let you all know he had 74 votes for this final right here. Damn. 74. So that was the most votes we got last year, and it was quite incredible. All right, guys, what are your thoughts here? Mike Haggs with the bye, strong contender.
Oh yeah, awesome picture there. Obviously, Secret Wars is getting a lot of buzz right now. So definitely a contender in there, especially with the early buy.
For sure. And then our second buy here for the A bracket, we're going to bring the judge in as soon as the gentleman says he's ready. But Dr. Plagueis with the Turtles. This right here is a strong one right here. I love this one. Dr. Plagueis had the next closest tally of votes, by the way, everybody, was 34 with Dr. Plagueis. So keep that in mind. Mike Haggs destroyed the month of January. Mike, you destroyed the month of January. We're going to bring the judge in too to discuss this, but I do like Dr. Plagueis' chances, but Dr. Plagueis does have a bye here. And if there are no comments, we can continue.
Oh no. I mean, Dr. Plagueis week in and week out has his own, he's got his own style.
He definitely
he does these, he links them up with the figures and the the background and everything, cool lighting. It's a Dr. Plagueis picture. Everyone else I can kind of, this could be this person, this could be this person. Even the really creative ones, like every once in a while someone surprises me and I think it's Raising Elm, and it's not Raising Elm. Someone else just did a really awesome setup. But everyone that Dr. Plagueis does, it's a Dr. Plagueis original. So those obviously stand out really nicely, and they never disappoint.
I got a comment real quick. So when you say he had 34 votes, is that like throughout the whole month?
No, these are just the final votes, right? Okay. So that's what it took to win the finals. So just keep that in mind, everybody. If you're in the finals,
that's a big
the more
gap,
votes you get, if you win, the better the seeding is. So right there. All right. So now we're going to get into the battle. So again, there's two buys in each bracket. There are 4 remaining contestants. They 2 and 2 go head to head. So we got Slick Jolly versus Mon Comics. Slick Jolly with the black cat, Mon Comics with the man thing. Everybody, this was Mon Comics' first submission ever to Fresh in the Comic Shop, and he won the month of March, I want to say. Guys, this is going to be a nice battle right here. The seeding is Mon is higher than Slick Jolly by 13 votes. Mon's had 31 to 18 Slick Jolly. So the way we do the seeding is, as normal seedings go, the lower the score goes up against the next highest score. So that's how that's going to work. Moving on to round out bracket A, we got Caleb Leland versus
man.
Elm. Oh my God.
That's going to be a tough one.
Really is going to be a tough one right here. We love both of those guys. Nobody really wins if somebody loses. So I don't know how I'm going to handle this one, but that right there, that will round out bracket A. But this, I'll tell you what, Raising Elm, again, fire every submission. He has another great one this week, by the way. So I'm excited to see everybody go to battle right there. We're going to have these battles this week for bracket A. Once again, just a reminder here, we have Mike Haggs with a bye. We got Dr. Plagueis with a bye. We got Slick Jolly versus Mon Comics, and Real Caleb Leland versus Raising Elm. All right, moving on to bracket B, everybody. Bracket B, We have Super Crispy right here as the #1 overall bracket B winner with what's crazy, a Kaboom Comics cover. This is a Kaboom Comics original right here that I guess he A-OK to Super Crispy. They both live in San Diego. I do believe they're buddies. So that is a buy right there. And you know what's interesting, guys? The next buy we have is actually Kaboom. Kaboom Comics has a buy in bracket B as well. So well done, both of you guys, both of you San Diego people. Then we're going to move into round B, who they are going up against. We got Goonish Lurker versus Nukes Comics right here. This is going to be an interesting one. Not very this is way outside the box. Nukes got the they're actually, I believe, they're backing boards and covers right here. And then it looks like, looks like a Golden Age goodie here from Goonish. Is it Golden Age, Joseph?
That is a reprint of a Golden Age book.
Got it. Okay. So right there, this is going to be a fun one to watch. So well done, both of you gentlemen.
I still can't believe I lost to Nukes Comics on that one, man. That was that was rough.
Nukes Comics, that was very much out of the box thinking, no pun intended.
For sure, it was bagged and boarded.
I have my moments, not many.
No, I was being the one that with the terrible joke right there. And then Nori Jordan versus C to the G. Talking about out of the box, this is another sneaker. I think Nori our C to the G a year 2023 won with the sneakers as well. Another winning month for C to the G going to up against Nori Jordan. So that will be an interesting one. And again, once again, bracket B is looking like this. You have supercrispy.comics and Kaboom Comics with the buys. You have Goonish Lurker versus Goonish Lurker versus Nukes, and Nori Jordan versus C to the G. This is gonna be super exciting, everybody. We're gonna start these battles this week. So stay tuned to that. I think this is gonna last 3 weeks. Everybody, your thoughts, final thoughts on the brackets here.
I think this is going to be a massively competitive year. I think that all 12 submissions are fantastic in their own way, very original, and it is, it's really anyone's game. Obviously, we've got 4 buys going in. We've got 8 people that are going to be playing the semifinals round, but man, it is anyone's game here. So make sure, everyone that's watching, whether you are in the running or not, definitely check the story on Instagram so we can get as many votes as possible. Put your favorite in and let us know.
I applaud I'm sorry,
Joe. Sorry.
Jeff, go ahead. I was going to say that I applaud the creativity and the wherewithal for everyone who has won. But there were a lot of people that had great submissions and lost, and those were tough ones because again they put a lot of effort into it. So I don't want to forget those people who put, again, their talent, their effort into it. So we've got a lot of talented people in this wonderful chat of ours.
We do. And I was just about to say, Dan, if this segues in perfectly what I'm about to say, we're almost a quarter of the way into this Fresh from the Comic Shop year 2025. Again, we'll have a big book again next year. And I think all of us have said how much the audience has stepped up in their submissions. It's been incredible. You guys have just killed it, crushed it this year, and very excited. Even the submissions this week, I'm going through them again. It's getting more difficult to choose whoever's going to go through the next to the next semifinals. By the way, forgot to announce the winner of the semifinals from last week. I got to get that out there. We'll have that on Instagram. Apologies, but with that said, we're just going to get right into Fresh from the Comic Shop.
What about my opinion, man?
Yours doesn't count, buddy. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
I just want to say.
I'm sorry, Josh.
Oh, I thought that was Jeff that did that. I was you. I just want to say great submissions. I think, every year everybody has stepped up their game, and even this year. So it's going to be a brutal contest, I think. Yeah, I think everybody's bringing it. Just make sure you guys let your friends, family, whoever else is on Instagram, post about it. Let them know. Get them in. You want as many votes as possible. And, good luck to everybody. And even if you don't win, just be proud knowing that you're part of a great community every week and you're posting some phenomenal submissions. So, That's all I got to say about
I'm
that.
so confused because that was so much substance coming out of your mouth. And
Yeah.
we don't usually have that unless you're talking about the news.
Got
Something to
I
chew
mean,
on
hey,
for a
listen,
second.
it was my nap.
him on point.
Please take more naps. Thank you. All right. With that said, please like and subscribe if you have not done so already. If you're new to the channel, we're going to explain to you what Fresh from the Comic Shop is all about with this little ditty. Take it away, Groovy.
Fresh from the comic shop, your collection's treasures ready to pop. It's time to share, don't let it flop. Fresh from the comic shop. Take a shot, make it bright, give it style and flair. Show a book that's unique, something rare out there. Tell us why it matters, what's the story behind. Pull at our heartstrings and you'll surely shine.
Sponsored by Crafty Comics, where collections flex their style. Museum quality slabs and displays with 99% UV protection. Because your fresh gets deserved the spotlight.
Fresh from the comic shop. That's right. Joseph, I don't know, he went somewhere, but I do want to I can't announce this here. Basically, from our semifinals last week, the votes are in, and we have Kate's Comics versus Immortal Scruffy. Kate's Comics came out on top, 60% over 40%, I believe. Kate had 21 votes to 14. So Kate is moving on to the finals. Sorry about that. I didn't have it in the on the ready. So with that said, why don't we just get into it, everybody? Dan, I'm not sure if you have any fresh gets, or Joshua, you could as well.
I do. How many do you need?
I could probably make.
We'll just play it by ear. We're gonna get through this thing together. How's that sound? But
I like it.
let me find out where it is. Here we go. Joseph's back. All right.
Yeah.
As y'all know, our January winner actually is somebody who's up. He's gonna be up at the 2025 big boy or big girl book as well. Mon's Comics and Dr. Plagueis as well with our February winner right there. All right. We're going to actually start off with Dr. Plagueis. And again, even though these guys are not eligible to win, they're still putting in some fantastic submissions. So Dr. Plagueis, in 2002, I discovered graffiti art. Through that subculture, I discovered underground hip hop. One of the very first artists I discovered was MF Doom. Quickly, he became one of my favorite artists of all time, and what a whirlwind the next 15 years or so of my life would be as a graffiti artist and hip-hop lover. On December 31st, 2020, the passing of MF Doom was announced, so me and my buddy at Kurt Tang packed our bags full of paint and set out to pay homage to the legend. And this was the homage they paid. Look at this. That's Dr. Plagueis' work.
Incredible.
It really is. Absolutely incredible. And it gets better, the story here. We printed a train with him on it into the new year. This ended up being one of the final pieces I ever painted, as I was currently fighting a case for graffiti charges and ultimately had grown out of the hobby and was at risk of losing my freedom again. The vindicating feeling I had paying homage to an artist I've been a huge fan of for so long was the same feeling I had with this book. And the quote Marvel put on the first page, what a tribute to the guy. I wasn't able to make it to Emerald City Comic-Con, but when I heard the Wolf Maria was going to be there, I knew exactly what I needed, and she delivered like only she can. Thank you, son of Union Gap, for helping my dreams come true. Since the day I got this book, I knew I wanted this. Let's get back to the book again. That's MF Doom on the cover of Doom. That was a big book. I think it was last year. It was just a one-shot, really cool book. And again, there's an opening page with an homage to MF Doom as well. If you're not familiar with MF Doom, and if you love hip hop, please, you will thank everybody for turning you on to him. Really unique and a lot of comic book lore in there. It's so much fun.
This is such a great submission. And I gotta share a little story here real quick. I was up in New York last weekend for the Elite Comic Expo, and I had brought some spray paint with me to New York. I actually never had any time to do anything with it, so it never left my bag. But this past week, those of you who are aware of this, I was in Atlanta. I took a trip, little vacation, which was nice, right in the middle of con season. I flew there, and I had forgotten to take the spray paint out of my bag, so that was confiscated from me. First time something's ever been confiscated from me on a flight. A bunch of cans of spray paint going down the toilet, but it is what it is. Love this. Very, very cool. Especially because it includes his own art, which is awesome, and obviously connecting hip hop and comics with MF Doom, Dr. Doom. This is just so good.
It really is, and we truly appreciate you sharing this with us because we know it's deeply personal. The impact that this artist had on you, Dr. Plagueis, and what you did to kind of just send him off, maybe in your own way. So again, that pulls the heartstrings. It's a great submission.
I have to ask you: are you now on the no-fly zone?
No, I told the guy. I said I just went to New York last weekend. That was still in my bag from that trip. Please just throw it away. And he goes, I got you. And he threw it away. Give my bag back. There was no additional checks of my other bag or anything like that. It was a very quick process.
Joe, cool. I gotta think that they've seen much worse in an airport.
Oh yeah, for sure.
than
just spray paint. Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Some light vandalism.
Joe,
yeah.
what do you got for your first fresh get?
Oh, okay. First fresh get of the week. So all three of these books were acquired last weekend at the Elite Comic Expo. Obviously, I wasn't here to show them off, but here you go. This was done in a trade. This is staying firmly in the personal collection. We got Shock Suspense Stories, issue number 7, early one, 1953. It's got this sweet electrocution cover. This is actually, it's interesting. It looks like somebody's inside and then someone's outside, but if you actually look at it closely, this is someone is outside in a rainstorm and they're getting electrocuted. That's their reflection in the mirror. So that's the same guy right here, not in the mirror, in the window, and he's getting electrocuted, and you can see his skin is like boiling and like blistering. So cool. It is crazy. I think it's a Jack Kamen cover. No, sorry, Al Feldstein cover. Oh yeah, my other one's Jack Kamen. Al Feldstein cover here, and look at the grade on that, 7.0. For a golden age book, off-white pages, classic electrocution cover, even noted on the CGC label.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. That is such a great cover. Love what you bring normally, all the time. Mike Haggs, again, we've been talking about you, Mike. We've been talking about you. Tinhead Tuesday. He had hashtag Tinhead Tuesday. Sorry. Fresh for the comic shop for the Canon crew. Got this yesterday in a trade. Cool book retells the origin of Iron Man, how Yinsen saves his life and they build Mark 1 Iron Man suit and then bust out of the cave. They're being held captive. Little by little, I'll have this run filled out, but but enjoying the hunt in the meantime. Still missing the Big Boys 55 and issue 1, but we'll get there. Sort of a homage cover of issue 1. It is actually. That's a good point. Well done there, Mike Haggs, for sure. Josh, what do you got?
Yeah, so didn't do any shopping last week. I was home, but this is another book I picked up at the Philly Expo that happened 2 weeks ago, and a bit of an underrated Tomb Raider cover from Adam Hughes, in my opinion. Yeah. Tomb Raider issue number 3. It's interesting, like I said, I think it's issue starting in issue 33 to like the mid 40s is when they get pricey and considered keys. But I think this is a great book to have. It's, early Adam Hughes and Tomb Raider, so I'm happy with it.
You should be. That's a nice looking cover there for sure. Well done, Joshua. Moving on, we got Comic Demon. Another homage here. Here's a fun homage. Incredible Hulk 340. I try and grab up certain homage covers, and 340 is one of them. I'm not sure if you can see closely, but you got Miss Minutes and the other 2 new characters that are introduced in the new TVA series, I do believe. So, pretty cool.
Honestly, I thought it was some generation of starter Pokemon.
No. That's definitely Miss Minutes on the right, and then they're the 2 new clock type characters that they have.
No, I see it now. It's too small on my screen to really decipher what it is, but I see a blue one, a red one, and a brown one. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, we're talking starter Pokemon here.
I could see how you would think that. And because that was actually my thoughts too when I just glanced over at him. You look a little closer, and it's not the case. Mr. De La Torre, Your Honor, what do you have?
I am in the process of trying to collect issues 1 through 100 of the Avengers, trying to duplicate what Schweigelhaus, a guest on the show not that long ago, did some time ago. And I'm getting some of what used to be considered filler runs, because I have 1 through 5, 7, and 9, I think I just got. But as far as this goes here, I got issue number 26. This is, I believe, it's Don Heck cover. And again, these used to be filler issues, but now they're coming into their own. They're getting more expensive, and this is just one less comic off the list.
Right. That's a nice cover right there.
Yeah.
Dan, I just got an Avengers collection a couple weeks ago. I might have some of the ones in the second half of the, like 50 through 100. I probably have a bunch of those if you need them.
You and I will have conversations, sir.
For sure. Everybody, like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Shame on you. Moving on, we have Nori Jordan, good friend of the show. A couple years ago, I had some bills to pay and sadly had to sell almost all of my favorite books. This included my Daredevil 131, Hulk 449. Geez, he gave up a 449. Mr. Thunderbolts gave up a 449. You know it's serious. And many other comics that I loved. One book I hated to sell was my Daredevil 111, CGC 9.6, David Asia variant, because it is rare and I knew replacing it would not be easy. Luckily, after paying the bills, I was able to get the books back. I sold and even have made vast improvements to my collection. I'm happy to say that now includes my Daredevil 111, CGC 9.6 Asia variant, that did come at a hefty but reasonable cost. It took some patience to find this book, but I am grateful it is back in my PC. Lady Bullseye is an amazing assassin, just like the man who inspired her to be all she can be, Bullseye. Take care, everyone. That's a great entry right there, submission. I really like that. All right. My fresh get of the week here is, I'm going to actually just jam through all three of them.
Jam it, Jeff.
Yeah. What?
I said jam it, Jeff.
You got that right. That's another great nickname for me. Geiger 12, the glowing woman, first full appearance. And again, Gary Frank, crushing. I love this series, everybody. If you're not reading this, shame on you. Ghost Machine is crushing it. The Unnamed Universe, please do yourselves a favor. Get on it. Also, we are not, what was the hair club for men? We're not only, we don't only work here, we're also customers.
What would you know about hair clubs?
We're also a client. There you go. I mean, anyways, that being said, our picks of the week, we listen to what we preach, right? So I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 7. That was 2 weeks ago. Pick of the week right there. Fresh from the comic shop, or I'm sorry, comic book canon pick of the week. And then this past week's pick of the week, Assorted Crisis Events. This is a fun one, a crazy one. The log line is Imagine Crisis on Infinite Earths, but with just ordinary people. So it is starting off kind of like, what the hell is going on here, in a fun way. The art, I love the art on here as well. Everybody, I highly recommend you pick that book up too if you're looking for new, interesting reads. There we go, guys. Mine are out of the way. We don't have to continue on anymore with that. We have some nice, I'm sorry, Golden Age, Silver Age, and Bronze Age from you wonderful people. Next up, we have Mark Lineker. You're going to learn something here. Sorprendente Hombre Araña 155 and 158 from 1973. From March 1972 to November 1973, the Mexican edition of Amazing Spider-Man was published bi-weekly, alternating between the U.S. release and new stories and art exclusive to the local market. This alternate narrative had Peter marrying Gwen and going on various adventures. 155 was basically Spidey and Gwen on Skull Island, swapping King Kong for a giant caveman. While 158 repurposed Quicksilver, renamed to Silver Lightning, as a speedster villain. The artwork was by Jose Luis Duran, sometimes displaying a strong Romita vibe. I love this entry. I love what Mark Lineker brings to this community. I again, really love all of that. So that's a fun submission that you're going to learn something about.
Fun fact, and this kind of just adds to Mark's, the Gwen Stacy thing is a really cool story. They actually decided to do that. Gwen Stacy was such a popular character that when she got killed off in the American comic books, they were like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So she stays alive. Also, I'm going to say this in the most respectful way I possibly can. Gwen Stacy is drawn with an incredibly fat ass in the Mexican version of the comic book, and it's pretty good.
I could say so many things I'm not going to.
I know. I mean, at least he was respectful, though. You know, I mean, we really appreciate that. Speaking
of
being respectful,
look it up.
Respect some of your books, Joe. Show us another one, another fresh get.
All right. This one, shout out Heroes Reborn, aka John. This was part of a deal. This is a really cool deal, actually, because this is one of the things we love about the community is we help each other out, we do things for each other, yada yada. John came up to me on the first day of Elite Comic Expo and said, I'm looking to pick up a Hulk 1 soon. I got some books I want to unload. I'm going to bring them here and I'm going to shop them around. I said, okay, make sure you bring them to me. He ended up bringing me them on the next day and didn't really even shop them around. Gave me the opportunity to buy them and we were able to agree on a price. This was one of those books. And in my opinion, it's probably the coolest of those books. I didn't want to delve too much into all the stuff I got from him, but man, this one really stands out as the winner here. This is Green Lantern number 76. It is the first book of the Bronze Age. It is the first Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil team up on this run, which ended up being a really, really monumental run. And not only that, but this guy right here, you see the yellow label, signed by Mr. Neil Adams himself. Who is no longer with us. So obviously that's a harder signature to get nowadays. 5.5, which who really cares on this book, what the grade is. It's a decent mid-grade for a Bronze Age book, but just being signed by Neil Adams on this book that started the entire Bronze Age, man, I'm still blurry.
That's okay.
But it's 5.5, but it looks gorgeous, Joe.
It really does.
Looks great. Yeah, honestly, does look better than a 5.5. It's got a little bit of roughness around the corners and stuff like that, but it's a good looking book.
That definitely is a great pickup for you as well. I congratulate you. Moving on, we got Spud, aka Alexia. That's a cool cover right here for sure. Batwoman number 30. What an absolutely silly perfect variant. A big thanks to Movie Man for Star for this killer cover. I watched a lot of Mad on Cartoon Network as a kid and picked up a lot of Mad Kid magazines for road trips. So I was very excited to find this variant that brings me back to a simpler time. Yeah, I've never seen this variant before. It's awesome looking. You got Alfred E. Newman as Bane. Kind of crazy. That's a nice little mashup right there for sure. Joshua, this is your last fresh get of the week because you have another one we're going to be sharing that you submitted.
Yeah, so I've been on a Star Wars kick kind of lately. I know, Disney has been killing us, and hopefully towards the end of the year, beginning of next year, we can finally start getting some real good content. But
Andor looks
well,
amazing.
Okay. I haven't watched season 1 yet. I might need to jump on that. Anyway, moving on. I picked up Star Wars: The Rise of Kylo Ren, issue number 4. And I gotta tell you something. I'm really loving some of these older series, even if it has to do with the new sequel characters. I think Kylo Ren, even though spoiler, he's been killed in Rise of Skywalker way too soon. I thought he had a great little story, and I kind of think, if I'm not mistaken, there's another new series with him out right now. That's like on issue 2 or 3 that is really great. But yeah, I've been picking up a lot of Star Wars. Whether it's old or new, even some of the Dark Horse stuff. I don't know, man. Something about Star Wars taking me back to when I was a kid, and Revenge of the Sith is gonna be back in theaters. I think in May, if I'm not mistaken, for its 30th anniversary
30th, yeah,
or
wow,
something
that's
like
crazy.
that. So I plan on going to watch that in theaters again, and remember my time when I went with my dad to see that. It was a special time. So yeah, that's my last fresh get.
That's a nice pickup right there. That is, I thought it was a different key issue, but it's still a key issue. Cover Price has it as the
Yeah.
origin of Ben Solo.
Yeah, it's like the whole. It's a 4-issue. It's either a 4 or 5-issue run. The whole, literally, the whole run is like the origin of a story. But still, like I said, I think it's a great pickup. And Star Wars, like I said, I'm really into it right now. So I'm happy with it.
Right. I love that you're into it. By the way, issue 3 is the first cameo appearance of Avar Chris, who is in the High Republic series. So that's a nice little connective kind of piece right there. So it's a good series to pick up for sure. All right, moving on. We have, jeez, I didn't plan this well at all. We have Josh's comics.
Hey.
The Punisher War Journal, #1, Origin of the Punisher, with the release of Born Again and waiting on John Barenthal to make his return as the Punisher. I've decided to rewatch both seasons of his show that came out years ago. John really embodies the role, and he is, in my opinion, not only the best, but the perfect casting for Frank Castle. Next year, we'll be getting a Marvel special presentation co-written by John himself. After that, I hope we get to see more Frank in the MCU. Enjoy this fresh from the comic shop. Yo, guys, again, we got... we didn't even talk about episode 3 of Daredevil. Again, I'm still waiting for
I think we're going to do it every 2 episodes, though, like next week.
Okay.
Because Joe also needs to let us know about episodes 1 and 2. But how about every 2 episodes we do like a little mini review?
Sure. That sounds great. At the end of the news, we will do that. But Joe, how many times have you seen the full Daredevil series? This kind of relates, by the way. Like
the 3 seasons of Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
I think 4. Jesus. And like probably at least 3, probably 4. And then there's been other times that I've just kind of been showing someone something.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, a couple episode arc, like the courtroom scene with Punisher, that arc, and just starting with season 1 and watching the first couple episodes with them to get them started. So at least 3 or 4 times, but then some episodes I've seen probably 5, 6, 7 times.
Amazing. I mean, it's rare I go back, but I had Alicia start watching Born Again, and she never saw any of the Netflix stuff.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm going back with her and watching, and I'm like, it's just been so.
See, I'm with Alicia. I'm so taken by this Daredevil series. I'm going back. I never saw the Netflix series, so I'm going back to see it all again. So it's a real treat for me to start from the very beginning.
Hey,
very excited for you.
The Punisher shows, I'm halfway through season 2 right now. Again, I'm telling you, man, if you want some good action with Punisher, definitely watch those when you get done the original 3 seasons, so you can get caught up on Born Again. But yeah,
you'll have to do that. Yeah,
it's
for sure. Very excited for you, Judge. Very excited indeed. Actually, Judge, what do you got for us? Give us your second fresh get.
Let me go rattle through because I got to get to my judge's outfit here. I'll just throw the last couple at you. I just showed issue 26. This is issue 27. Beautiful Jack Kirby cover. Look how gorgeous Wanda is in that one here. I mean, look at the eyes and the face, just absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, that's another one off my list. And I forgive me if I've shown this. I don't think I have on the show. Maybe I'm wrong. Speaking of one of the big Avengers keys is right here. It's in my gorgeous EGS.
There
5,
you go.
Nice.
Issue 67, a nice
EGS.
6.0. Got a nice one. EGS. Look at the gorgeous cover with the Avengers logo in the background here. And just for, I'm with Joe. I'm having a tough time with the reflection. Can't get a good picture here. But you can't have issue 57 without issue 45.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
A nice 9.4 of that. Didn't pay that much for this one here. So anyway,
that's gone down in value. It's probably going to go up when we got Vision Quest.
I bought it when it was both of them when they'd gone down in value, and I got them at the right time because they're coming back slowly. But I'm just happy to have them in the collection.
Yeah, 57.
All right, Judge.
57's on my list of grill pickups too for this year.
Well, Josh, I've got one of those.
Well, hey, King Kong's next weekend.
It is. See you there.
Oh my God. I can't keep up.
Oh yeah. By the way, Jeff, we need to talk about that. You need to show up.
You're not the boss of me.
Be
I'm
there
not gonna tell
or
you
be
again.
prepared to be square.
I don't even know what that means, but I'd like to get to Raising Elm if we can possibly do that. Thank you.
All right.
Raising Elm. Howdy, comic fam. Did you all know that $200 in 1973, when this issue came out, is equivalent in purchasing power to about $1,131.67 in 2018, an increase of $931.67 over 45 years. That's enough to buy a low-grade Strange Tales 110. Well, just like Dr. Doom was looking for his robots, I've been searching for a decent copy of Luke Cage Hero for Hire, issue number 9, for over a year now, because the story was so comical, but also understandable. Unlike Dr. Doom, I was committed to the transaction and made the payment quickly. Who is the seller, you might ask? Our one and only Joe, aka 360 Comics. Thank you, Joe, for some truly amazing deals here lately. Y'all may see those in future submissions. Oh, that's exciting. And also, thank you for not tracking me halfway across the globe to get your money. Much love, comic fam. Again, Justin, well done. We love what you bring to the table.
For those of you who don't know, the story in this book is Luke Cage breaks into Dr. Doom's castle because Dr. Doom owes him $200.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know why he converted it to 2018 though. Like, why not 2025? So
it probably hasn't been updated. Probably looked at it.
I got a question though. Does he get his $200 back?
I don't know. I never read it. Ask Justin.
I'll look at that for you. I got the Marvel Unlimited. All right, Joseph, your last fresh get of the week. What do you got?
All right, here is a little bit more Golden Age for you. This book I didn't know existed. Really cool cover by both Jack Kamen and Al Feldstein working together on this one. A little bit of Golden Age romance. I sold a bunch of romance at King Con. Not King Con. What's it called?
Elite
Comic Expo. And we're going to actually be talking once convention season is over on this show about trends that I noticed in the selling comics at conventions this year. And one thing that I know certainly about the Elite show is that a lot of people were buying Golden Age romance, which tends to be an under collected genre. But here's a really great cover. This is Women in Love #2 from 1949 from Fox Feature Syndicates. Look at that cover.
Wow.
Beautiful cover. Again, Jack Kamen and Al Feldstein, who Al Feldstein went on to be a big player in EC. Jack Kamen worked on Phantom Lady and various other things. 6.0 on this one. 6.0 off-white to white pages. Beautiful book from 1949. Great cover here. And definitely a Golden Age romance favorite as far as this cover.
I love that cover, Joe. And I've never had a Hush date before. I'm not sure about any of you guys, but yeah.
My Hush dates. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I'm not a big romance guy, but that book, the lady on the cover too.
Oh, you fancy her, do you?
I was about to say something really stupid, but
anyways, moving on. Kaboom Comics with our final submission of the week. This looks fantastic right here. Hey, Canon community, here's my fresh from the comic shop. My second Golden Age, Tales of Suspense number 63 from March 1965. Always nice to have a Kirby book in my PC. This book gives us the first origin story of Captain America in the Golden Age. Steve Rogers gets a super soldier serum to become a superhuman and help humanity against evil. It's amazing how Stan Lee in his time created the Captain to give hope to people and the military. I see Stan as a hero for creating so many heroes. Gives me hope to create my book every time I see Jack Kirby covers. I'll get there. I'll create my heroes for everyone. Kaboom Comics family and friends, let's tune in every Sunday on YouTube. Remember to post fresh gets. It's another tag to us. Thank you very much for that, Kaboom. We truly appreciate that. And yes, don't freaking give up, man. Keep going at it. Go for what you want. Excited to see what your book is when you release it and publish it. So we're very excited to see that for sure. All right, I have one comment to say actually real quick. I'm proud of somebody here, guys. I'm very proud of a certain somebody. Where is he? Sorry. Oh, here it is. It's Goonish Lurker. Good evening, everybody. I'm late to the show. There's no apology.
No apology. I like
He learned his lesson.
He's not sorry.
Thank you for not apologizing.
Remember, comic collector
late.
is never late nor early. He arrives precisely on time.
I don't know where you get this stuff, Joshua. I mean,
Hey,
you were doing
Potter.
so well earlier in the show. You need a nap.
I'm doing even better. What are you talking about, Jeff?
You need a nap. All right, guys. We got some issues here, and we have a lot of issues actually that were delivered to us. We're going to bring the judge in right now. Hello, Your Honor. How are you?
Welcome, everyone, and welcome. What present your case today, please?
Joe, there's a lot here that has
A lot of good ones.
Yeah. I got 1. I got 2. 1 is not eligible. And I got 3. I got 3, Joseph. What do you got?
Yeah, I would say I have 3 as well.
Okay. I'm gonna go first. Or you go.
One second. Is Dr. Plagueis eligible? No, right?
Dr. Plagueis is not eligible. That would have been one of mine.
Okay. So we're gonna cross him off the list. He won he won February of this year, right? Last month?
February.
Okay, so Dr. Plagueis, that honestly, I'm gonna be real. That would probably be a winner for me.
Because it's one of your best submissions, Dr. Plagueis. It's not even eligible, which is crazy. Very appreciative of you just sharing the story with us and what MF Doom meant to you, your art, and just life in general. So we truly appreciate you sharing this book with us and the story behind it. That's how it's done, people. Like, that's pulling at our heartstrings. That's showing us a cool book and telling us what it means to you. So, yeah. I'm going to go real quick. I want to say Nori Jordan. I like the fact that he tells us he sold off most of his collection, but ended up getting his favorites back. So very happy to see that for you, Nori Jordan, and the grade that you had as well. So that's one of mine, Joseph.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I love I'm going to throw this back up again because the Lady Bullseye picture, it works really well with this cover. It's not just, obviously it's the same character, but just the how the picture is drawn works so well with the cover. First one I'm going to put up for consideration is Mark Leneker's right here. These foreign comics have definitely they're slowly but surely getting more and more popular for collectors. And the fact that Mark laid out a lot of information, historical information and stuff like that, and really gave people a crash course lesson on, these Mexican Spider-Man comics, how it's, their own stories, not in the books. Gwen Stacy was kept alive, all that stuff. I think that was, really good. And obviously these are very unique books because you really don't see foreign stuff too often.
That's one of mine as well. Joseph, that's definitely one of mine.
And what's your third?
My third is Raising Elm.
Yep.
The guy just doesn't quit. He never half-asses it. You know what I mean? Like, it's always something interesting. It's always a great looking shot. I wonder how much this money adds up to, by the way. I guarantee you it has something to do with that. Another little Easter egg for us. So
it's probably $200.
I mean,
have any of you read that story? But I own that book, by the way. Have you guys read that story?
No. Josh asked a question. Josh, what was your question again? If
my question was, did he actually? So we know that he broke in the castle to get his $200 back. But my question was, did he get the $200 back?
Okay, just for the fact that he steals a I'm going to spoil it for you guys. I'm sorry. He tries to steal a multi-million-dollar pogo plane to get his $200 back from Dr. was the coolest story I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, who would do that? Luke Cage. I think that was just the most effing cool story that's ever been written. So,
oh boy.
Yeah, I still may read it. I don't know. I got Marvel Unlimited, so maybe I will. But so Joe, that's your third one too, or do you have another one?
Yeah, that was also topping my list there. So we definitely agree on the same 3. There's one that I'm leaning towards.
God, there's 2 that are both even for me.
Okay. All right. Well, what's one of the one that's even for you?
Raising Elm.
Okay. All right. The one that I'm leaning towards is Mark Leneker.
Mark Leneker was the other one.
Okay. I'm good with that pick. I think that Raising Elms was great. They're all were great. Really, really cool books. I had a hard time not putting Comic Demon in the top 4 with this just cool homage cover as well.
Yeah.
Mark Leneker is just such a unique book, and great historical information for us as well. And the fact we get kind of 2 examples of covers here. This one did it for me. So I think we're in agreement here.
Yeah, I
And,
think we need it's Mark Leneker. that's
Gwen's
moving
got
on.
a fatty on her too, in there.
Yeah, we learned something too that Joey brought to our attention how Gwen Stacy was represented in these books. So
Yes.
So your knowledge it surpasses Mark Leneker's by far. With that said, Judge,
that's not true, and you know that.
Your
that guy's
Honor,
an encyclopedia.
Your Honor, as you know, it's getting tougher and tougher to judge on these. For us to ask you to sign off on moving these on further into the semifinals. But with that said, we'd like to present Mark Leneker to you.
Before I make my ruling here, this is just another example. Look how difficult it was for you guys to decide how much talent now goes to the wayside. We'll never see these books again unless you should rewatch this episode anyway. But look how talented this good audience is. So congratulations to everybody, and so thank you for being so talented and such wonderful people in our community. But having said that, Mark Leneker is a submission. I will roll upon this. Case dismissed.
Mark Leneker, you are moving on to the semifinals. You will go up against next week's semifinal winner. And we're excited to see who that is. As we said before, Kate's Comics is moving on to the finals over Immortal Scruffy right there. Again, another reminder, the last Sunday of March, we will not be on the air. It is our 5th Sunday of the month, so therefore we are taking off. But again, we enjoy every minute with you all, and we truly appreciate this community and the interactivity, the friendships that have been made, and just the fun that we have together. Joseph.
Yeah, it was such a bummer to miss last week. Obviously I was busy with the con. I didn't get home until about 11 or 12 last week. I almost wanted to try to tune in from the car on the way home. Yeah, it's it wouldn't be good audio, and if anything happened and there was a disconnection or something like that, I wouldn't be able to fix it while driving or whatever. So yeah, unfortunately had to take the week off. But shout out to Josh for hopping in there and holding down the fort. Still more conventions coming up for me this coming weekend. King Con in North Jersey. The weekend after that in South Jersey, One Day Comic Expo, and then 2 more in April as well. Super Jersey Comic Expo at the end of April in South Jersey, and Lehigh Valley Comic Con in Allentown, Pennsylvania in I think the 2nd week of April. If you're local, obviously come out to any of those, say hi. And once those are all wrapped up, I definitely want to have a discussion about, kind of the state of the market, what people are buying.
Good idea.
What books we're selling at conventions, because so far I've had 2 conventions, the Elite Show and Philly Comic Con the week before, and I've been kind of surprised with some things that have been selling more than they had been in the past. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for more information on state of the market.
That was going to be my Ask Joe question.
Well, we can talk about it next week and do a little preview on it. Not go into too much detail, but yeah, sounds good. Put it in.
You will not submit Fresh from the Comic Shop for the 5th week, just letting you all know. The next submissions will count towards the 1st week in April. Joshua, what do you got for parting words for this episode 218?
Just another great episode. We've been wrapping it up before 10, which is great, or we can get to bed a little bit sooner and get some rest. And shout out to all my co-hosts who pull the weight around and really make this show as great as possible. We appreciate you guys. But more importantly, I appreciate the audience tuning in. Even if you're going to rewatch and you're going to watch this later tomorrow or during the week, we appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe to Comic Book Canon, follow us on Instagram, get in more of those Fresh from the Comic Book Shops. You guys, like I said, I say this every week, but everybody kills it. Everybody brings in a new submission every week and has been really outdoing themselves. So keep it up, and we appreciate you guys.
And finally, the judge.
I also had to miss, like Joe, last week. I was on the road with my daughter for about 9 hours. I finally made it at the end of the show. I was in backstage. We Josh and Jeff talked for a few minutes, but I hated missing it. But family comes first and all that. But
yes,
Josh, Jeff, you guys did a great job. I had the pleasure
Thank
of
you.
listening in through my truck, the radio. So it was a great show last week. And I still, the best moment, Jeff, was when you went to, who was that? Was it Popocilla Town? And you said you looking through his books, crap. That's crap.
Oh no, that was Bricksco.
Okay, that was still funny. So watch that
Yeah.
episode. It was worth doing. But love you guys. I love the show. And again, I think we're doing great work for the community. We're bringing people a little smile, a little laugh, and that's what we do. So
that's what it's all about. It's about just getting together, gathering, talking about the things that we love, and making it entertaining. So again, we will be back next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Pacific. Until then, please be good to yourselves and please be good to others. Peace.